Good morning, everybody. It's May 8th, and it's a really beautiful day today. It's in the 60s and a little breeze and just really beautiful. And so I wanted to make a video to show you what's going on here on the farm. And I'm starting here in the orchard. These are pears, Asian pears actually, and they're in bloom, and they're looking really beautiful. And there are lots of dandelions, and I come out a lot here and look for pollinators. And it's been a little bit scary this spring actually, because I'm not seeing a lot of pollinators. We're not seeing too many bees or bumblebees or honeybees or any of the others. Even right now you can see it's so beautiful out, but yet I feel like these blossoms should be attracting a lot more. So pollinators are one of the species that, or some of the species that are really declining a lot worldwide. And there was a recent UN report that just came out in the past couple of days, and it was talking about a sixth mass extinction caused by human-induced, basically. So that's a lot of weight. I don't know, I take that very, it really weighs on me, and it's bad news basically. But just trying to do what we can. And one of the things I feel that we can do here on our farm is to help pollinators out. And these are some apple blossoms, and I hear more pollinators here. I hear some buzzing, so that's a good sign. But pollinators are among the species that are severely declining, some of them going extinct worldwide, and that's mainly due to pesticide use. Worldwide, pesticides are used obviously in agriculture very much, but also in on private land, you know, people's yards, on lawns, and on anywhere, you know, anywhere there's grass or where people want to get rid of stuff, they use pesticides. And wherever pesticides are used, it ends up really hurting and killing the pollinators. And of course our food supply really depends on them. Like these apple trees and the pear trees that I showed you before, this whole orchard without pollinators is done. You know, they're not gonna produce anything. So so that's really concerning, and we're trying to do here on the farm what we can. And we can do a lot actually. So one thing we do is not spray anything. So we don't spray. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to go in the greenhouse and I'll show you some of the vegetables that we're producing. And there's some right here actually outside. Let's just show you right now. They're just coming up because it's still early May. But there are onions here. You can see a bed of onions. And right here is a bed of cilantro. And under the white covers, we have some carrots and some arugula and other salad greens. And in here, this is our greenhouse. It's bursting full, as you can see. I could barely walk around here actually. So let's see. We have some beautiful cilantro right there, not bad. And there are lots of lettuces. This whole bed right here is lettuces. And right here we have some beautiful radishes. Let's see if you can see that. Radishes. These guys have been doing really well. And more lettuces. We sell a lot of salad greens, so and right there where I'm pointing the camera right now. There's arugula, there are carrots, those frilly leaves, and also a lot of soil blocks. So in the soil blocks we have all kinds of plants that will be transplanted outside soon, you know, in the next few weeks. These guys, for instance, right here are tomato plants, and they're getting nice and big. Those guys over there, they're definitely getting ready to go in the ground. So this weekend they'll be going in the ground. And I got some strawberries over here that are looking really good, and a whole bunch of stuff. But what I was saying before is that so all of this stuff that you see growing here, none of it is sprayed with anything. So we don't use conventional pesticides, and neither do we use organic pesticides. And a lot of people are very confused by that because they believe that organic means no spray, and that is not true. Organic certification does actually allow certain sprays. It doesn't allow all the sprays, and if you're certified organic, you have to stick to what's allowed. But pesticides are allowed and used in organic certification, so that's something you need to know. And the pesticides are not necessarily I don't know, you know, I don't know if they're really more benign than the conventional ones, but I know that the organic pesticides still hurt insects. Not just the target insects that they're supposed to kill, but they also end up killing other insects, like the beneficial insects that they're not meant to kill. So here we don't use anything, and you can definitely grow food in abundance, as you can see here, without using sprays. And what I encourage everyone to do, because it can be so confusing, you know, when you go to the grocery store and you see all these labels, right? You see conventional, organic, local, GMO, non-GMO, you know, you see a whole bunch of stuff, and I totally understand how difficult and confusing it must be for someone who's not intimately involved in agriculture, farming, gardening, how difficult it must be to understand the differences between all those labels. So what I encourage you to do is to speak to whoever your point of contact is, wherever you buy your food, whether it's directly from a farmer or whether it's through a food co-op or even a big grocery store. You know, speak to the produce manager or whoever is the closest to your food source and ask them exactly what were the growing practices used on that food, because that's the power, you know, that's the power that we all have, is to let our producers know that we care about certain practices. And when they know that, you know, they may want to change. They're going to want you to stay their customer. So if you go to your farmer or your local food co-op or wherever you shop and you tell them that you'd rather buy stuff that's not sprayed, you know, if enough people do that, they're gonna care about that, and they're gonna maybe want to change their practices. So here is a little pollinator and some of these dandelions. I'm in the pasture right now, and I'll be showing you guys the cows. So while I'm walking there, I'm just gonna say, so we can all, you know, do stuff that will be helpful. You know, try to avoid these scary things, you know, extinction and decline of the pollinators. So some easy things that we can all do are not to spray our own lawns. You know, don't put pesticides down on your lawn. That's it's gonna get in your water, and it's not good for you, and it's obviously not good for the insects that help us produce food. And another, you see these dandelions here. That's something that you know, is not too hard. Just let them come up, you know, and let them flower so that they can be a source of food for pollinators as well. And it doesn't mean you have to let them go to seed. You can mow them before they do that, but just having a few around, just like they're around in this field, you know, will help out a little bit, because I showed you that bee, that that insect that was on the dandelion. You know, they do go there for a source of food. So all right, so I'm done with that talk for now. But I just let me show you where the cows are. So these guys have been out on pasture now for a couple of weeks, and you can see we have this whole field set up for them. So they're doing their rotational grazing system, which means that we give them a little bit of grass at a time. That's why you see these wires here. So these basically delineate how much they're getting. So we come out twice a day, and we give them fresh grass twice a day. So that works really well for the cows, works really well for the land, because they don't end up peeing and pooping in one place only. They end up fertilizing the field actually evenly, and they don't overgraze it or undergraze it. So it's a really good system. It does take some work. You know, like I said, we have to come out here twice a day, but we love our cows anyway. I love being with these guys. So for me, coming out to this field and you know, caring for them is actually caring for myself too at the same time. So that's a nice thing. And right now you can see they're all hanging here in their shelter because of the flies. So the flies are out too, and they're trying, while they're not grazing, they're just kind of hanging out here resting and trying to stay away from the flies. But this whole shelter, you can see it's on wheels. Actually, I can't see a wheel here, but I'll show you on the other side. So it is on wheels, and we also move this once a day. We move it, so it's always on clean ground. Yeah, so here's the wheel on this side. All right.